I didn't expect to start making the playoff series previews so early, but here we are. So, the first series has officially been confirmed. The Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. There's other series where we can say, oh, yeah, that's definitely official, but this is the first official playoff series, and you know what? As always, I'm going to be the first to cover it. So, if you're new to the channel, I would recommend to subscribe as we are going to be covering every single playoff series from now until the Stanley Cup Finals like we did last season. Last season we were a bit on and off because I covered the play-in rounds, the first round, part of the conference finals, and then the Stanley Cup Final. So I didn't cover every single series. This year I'm going to try and do that because I won't be out and doing other things. So I'll basically be here and at my dad's house. So there you go. If you want to subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. And check out my Instagram and other my social medias below because they're important as well. And that's where you can meet up with me, talk to me about stuff. And you can also vote for the poll in the story, which is who is going to win the playoff series. Let me look that up real quick. I'm pretty sure it's loftily in Tampa's favor. Here it is. The votes for 18 to 8 in favor of Tampa. So it is pretty lopsided, but it might not be lopsided as other people think it will be. So this is actually the first time the Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning have met up in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The first time ever, which actually kind of surprised me because look, they've been around pretty much the same amount of time. I think Tampa has a few more years than Florida. But, basically the same thing. So, they've been around the same time. I figured they would face off at some point in the playoffs. I even had to look on, both sides of the chart to see if they did. And as far as I'm concerned, they haven't. I may have that wrong, though. But I know I don't have the next things wrong. Your statistical leaders for the Florida Panthers. For the points, you have Jonathan Huberdeau with 59 points over the course of the season. He's been insane. I think he's been on an insane run the past couple of weeks, couple of months, and he's really been that backbone of this Florida Panthers team. In goals, you have Alexander Barkov with 26. He's a solid goal scorer. He's been really scoring the goals for the team. And you know what? They don't have that 30-goal scorer on the team besides Barkov. They don't have that. They have a lot of consistent goal scorers all over their lineup. And that's the thing that amazes me with the Panthers. Huberdeau leads with 40 assists on the assist marker. As I said, a lot of these guys are going to have a lot of assists, so Huberdeau leads that chart there. That means he has 19 goals because math. And, he's been pretty good, as I said before. Now you have the goaltending. You have Chris Driedger with 2.17 goals against average. That's all I have written down here, but we need to get into this conversation. There is a lot of things just going on with Florida in their goaltending area. There is Driedger, there's Bobrovsky, and then there's Montembeault, and then there's Spencer Knight. That is 4 goaltenders who, I think Montembeault's a third. I think he stays. Bobrovsky's staying. I think they would keep Spencer Knight. That only leaves Driedger. But that's a conversation we can have in the offseason because none of them got out of the deadline. That's a huge offseason conversation for the Florida Panthers. So we can talk about whether or not they beat Tampa, or if they lose to Tampa, discussing do they keep Driedger depending on how he plays in the series, or do they let him go? That's the big question with Florida right now. There's really nothing else. Your leaders for Tampa now. So Braden Point is leading in everything, and I remember in the playoffs, I was just amazed with him. I was in love with how he played the game. He was just lethal in the playoffs for Tampa throughout the entire run. So I think that if Florida wants to shut this Tampa team down, they definitely need to keep an eye on Braden Point. He leads with 48 points total. Not as much as Huberdeau, though. So it's kind of like Tampa's kind of had, I guess, a bit of a lesser year than others. They are second in their division. They're not getting the first. We already know that. And, that's kind of the strange thing is I really don't. I don't really know. So you can you can say what you want with Tampa. He also leads with 23 goals. As I said before, you have a lot of guys that are going through Tampa as well, who are consistent goal scorers. You even got rookies who come up and score consistently as well, like Ross Colton. I think he has like 4 or 5 goals in the past couple of months. So he's been playing well as well. And then Victor Hedman leads the assist marker with 36 assists. Again, I talked about him in the North video. He will definitely be in that conversation. Although I think that Chikrin and Fox were definitely better than him this season. And I would even put a couple more guys over him. And then they got Andre Vasilevsky with a 2.10 goals against average. Vasilevsky is Vasilevsky. I'll leave it at that. I don't think there's really any questioning when it comes to the goaltending in Tampa, besides maybe getting a backup, because McElhinney's been okay, but Christopher Gibson, not really, judging by some of the stats he's had. So, yeah. And the biggest thing with these two teams regarding injuries is Florida's going to be missing Ekblad. Now, they got Montour, and they also acquired guys like Sam Bennett, and they got a couple other guys, Nikita Gusev as well. And, these guys are going to be filling up those spots. But the problem is, though, no matter what defenseman you get, unless if it's like Victor Hedman or someone like him, you're not really going to get a necessary defenseman to replace Ekblad. And you know what? That could be what very well kills the Panthers. That could be what kills them in this series. For Tampa, unless if they come back, which is looking like that Kucherov and Stamkos will, I think that could be bad news for Florida. I'm just being dead honest. It's when they come back, they won't be the same. It'll take a little bit for them to get back into their pace. They're not going to come in here and score 20 points in the playoffs. Watch them go do that, I swear. No, that's not going to happen here. I think they're definitely going to take a little bit of time to get back into it, especially Kucherov, because Kucherov hasn't played in getting close to a year, or getting a little bit over half a year now. So it's with Kucherov, that's a big thing. If Kucherov can get back to the way he was, I think Florida's kind of screwed. But the record this season says otherwise. There are currently 2 meetings left between Florida and Tampa before the end of the season. And they're the final 2, so it looks like they're going to play each other 9 straight times, or at least a minimum of 6 straight times. So they're going to get pretty old of each other pretty quick. The record is 4-2 in favor of Florida. And unless if I have that wrong, that actually kind of amazed me, because everyone was saying until some of those games up against Tampa, they were saying Florida is the pretender. Florida's the team that just, they're in that division because they're playing a bunch of bad teams. Like, they're playing Detroit and Columbus, and at the time Dallas was bad, and at the time Nashville was bad, and Chicago was Chicago. So, everyone was saying, they need to play teams more like Carolina and Tampa. And they started doing that, and you know what? They started beating those teams. So I think that Florida isn't a pretender, but can they get over that hump of getting past the first round? That's the biggest question relaying on this team right now. Because if they can't, I don't know what you do with this team. You fired the GM last season. You bring in Bill Zito. I think he's done a great job. I'll be completely honest. He's done a great job with improving the depth in Florida. But if they don't get past the first round, I think you could see someone on their way out, like Chris Drieger or a goaltender in that remark. In fact, someone is going to be on their way out in that goaltending area. But anyways. So yeah. Let me know who you think is going to win. I honestly don't know. I would say Tampa if you asked me at the beginning of the season if after all this Florida and Tampa would face off in the playoffs. I would say Tampa. But really with how good Florida's been playing, honestly, I don't know. And it's going to be a big conversation when it comes to it, whether who or not's going to win this. But hey, it's the Battle of Florida. We've never seen it before in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. Unless if I got that wrong, I'll feel like a complete idiot if I got it wrong. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and it's been an amazing run as of late. I'll make more videos on the previews coming out in the next couple of days. I'll make a couple more videos as well. And hey, thank you all for watching, for our support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.